I remember the first time that I started to get hate as I was moving up in not just my spiritual progress, but my worldly progress, I guess you could say as well. It was when I was about 21, 22, when I really started to experience genuine hatred from people. And I realized, like, I've encountered malevolence throughout my whole life. And there's been times where I encountered true evil and malevolence. And it's almost like I didn't even believe that someone could do such a thing. It was like I didn't realize people were truly capable of evil in the world. And I didn't want to believe it for so long. I didn't want to believe that people were genuinely filled with treachery and hatred towards others, just for the fact that they are who they are. But the first time that I really experienced hatred, like true, genuine hatred, when I was 21, 22, from people outside of my family or the people that I knew, it was like people that I didn't even know. When people that you don't even know hate you, that's when you know you're doing something right, man. That's when you know you may be down, but you're sure as hell not out. So you got to keep going and you got to keep doing what you're doing, because obviously hate only comes from those that are not doing as well as you. Like, I've never experienced anybody that is doing very well in life hate me for the fact that I'm doing quote unquote better than where I was a year ago or whatever. And these haters are really trying to destroy you. They truly hate your guts, and you can feel it in your, like, when you're in their presence. You can feel the projected shame that they want to place onto you. You can feel the insecurity stemming from their energy altogether. You can feel the guilt that they have. Like, I've also encountered haters that knew they did me wrong in recent past too, just within the last few months, where they know they did me wrong months earlier, and I can see the genuine shame on their face because they know that they did me wrong, and they know that in my presence nothing will be hid. Like, you cannot hide from me, because I know exactly what I'm about, and with the power of the light of Christ within me, it's almost like the hate, one way or another, even if they're trying to conceal it, it's like it has to come out because that's what they're genuinely feeling in that moment. And they actually don't really admire or respect you. They just want to make it seem like that. And I've experienced hate where people will give you excessive compliments to try to make it seem like it's not just flattery, but that they're making you better by giving you compliments. That's why I don't like giving out compliments too much anyway. Like, I'm very I guess you could say frugal with my compliments. I like to encourage people a lot. I will encourage you to succeed no matter what, but with a genuine compliment, I don't like to do that too often, because I know that the quality of the compliment or the value of the compliment therein will lose value over time, because it just, if you hear it all the time, then it's really not like, it's really not too valuable, right? And so what I learned through all of this hatred and all of this casual despising of me where I don't even know who they are, it's that these people really just don't respect themselves. They don't respect themselves, and so you should not even think about seeking their approval. There's no need for it. There's no need to seek the approval of someone or anyone, really, but there's no need to seek the approval of people that do not have your best interest at heart. Now, for me, it's grown clear to me that I am now the spiritual head and the spiritual leader of many different kinds of people watching this channel. So what that means is, if you're watching this channel, number one, if you're watching devotedly, or if I'm doing consultation sessions with you or anything like that, in one way or another, I am your spiritual head. And this is not a means of like who's better than anyone else. It's just that it is a fact. And so what I've grown to understand now is that as a spiritual head, any spiritual head, rather, that experiences certain kind of things, it's going to have a ripple effect to those people that are looking to the spiritual head for leadership of some kind, right? So naturally, you're going to have to understand that the things that are happening to the spiritual head, your spiritual head, and if you, let me go into more detail here. If you are a single man or single woman that is not in a relationship, watching channels like this, looking for spiritual guidance, then you are, by definition, looking to channels like this as a spiritual direction. And that's really what I'm here to do. That's what I'm striving for, is to provide direction. Because it's one thing that we've all very much lacked in our society is direction. And it's grown clear to me that there's a reason in the Bible that it says that Christ is above man, man is above woman, and woman is above children. It's because if men are not if men are not connected to the Most High, the society is going to go to shit. And if the society starts going to shit and women start thinking that they're above men in the spiritual hierarchy, things are going to get even worse, which is exactly what's happened, right? And so I've experienced a lot of different kinds of hate from men and women, but I would say the most capricious form of hatred has come from women. It's like, it's the kind of women that say, if I can't have him, ain't nobody gonna have him. And I've had women that were haters. It's like they were jealous of me, and they had like a dick envy of me, but at the same time, they were obsessed to the point that it was kind of creepy. And it was like they were so filled with this jealousy that, like, if they even thought that they weren't going to be picked, per se, that they would try to destroy my reputation. And that's exactly what happened. They tried to destroy my reputation. And praise to the Most High for putting me in a position to where I didn't have to go to jail or anything like that, even though there was times where I thought I would be going to jail because of the kinds of claims that they were putting out on my name. And it was insane, really, to think about just everything that happened. And even now, just thinking about it, it gives me, it's hard to stomach. It's hard to stomach to think about some of the things that people did and that are trying to do still to smear my name or smear the names of people that I know that are actually genuine. I'll tell you one thing that the haters will never, ever, ever understand. It's loyalty. And I can sense loyalty. I can sense loyalty very, very clearly. And loyalty is prized to me above almost anything else in any kind of relationship. If one of my brothers is having a down day or just feeling down in their situation, it is, in my estimation, my sacred duty to be there for my brothers and my sisters as well. I don't want anybody to feel as though they don't deserve help. But the problem with that sometimes, in my past anyway, was I was very too much giving of my time and consideration of people. And I was very too much, in a way, I limited my ability to find and create more positive relationships because I wanted the previous relationships that I had to be maintained in such a way that we could all prosper. But sometimes you just outgrow people. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, the person that grows the most also outgrows the most, right? So you have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you're on a different level, and it's not anything that to be haughty about or anything to be prideful of. It's just, it is the fact of the matter. And when you get to this point, like even within the last year for me, I'm a completely changed person. Go back and watch my first video that I did on YouTube about a year ago. And you'll see that I'm a very, very different person, and I have a very much different approach to how I do YouTube videos and just how I approach life in general now as well. But you have to just start somewhere, right? You have to just start sometimes. So that's exactly what I did. But the point here that I'm making is that you will get to a point to where you see that a lot of people are just not even deserving to be spoken to. Like they don't even deserve to hear the words that you speak because they don't even listen anyway. Like if you're watching this video and you're here right now watching this video, you've put forth time, you've put forth some kind of effort into understanding that this is an educational video about how to navigate and how to navigate haters and how to give yourself some respect and dignity and integrity to act on. And this is the exact kind of content you need if this is what you're looking for, because this is an educational video. And I strive to make all of my videos educational, even previous videos where it may seem like I'm just roasting people, but what I'm trying to do is expose the falsehoods of reality and the falsehoods of our society in reality, rather. Because a lot of people are really not deserving you, man. They're just not. They really just don't give a shit about themselves. And it's sad to watch sometimes. Like, it's sad to see that these people are continuing to choose everything wrong in a way that, like, they know that they're not going to amount to much. They know it because they don't want to put in the time and the effort. Because sometimes hard work isn't enough, right? Like, you have to be well developed in your physical, emotional, and physical life altogether. You don't just get to choose one and think that, oh, I'm going to be extremely successful in this and that's that. It's like, well, you can do that, sure, but I have not met any successful person that is only successful in one aspect of their life. They are fairly holistic for their life. They have a very fine-tuned balance. But a lot of the times, the people that talk about balance are just lazy motherfuckers. They're just lazy. They want to preach about balance and this and that, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And it's like, well, of course. But, you know, here's something to say for me. Like, if people were given my cards, if 90% of the population were given the cards that I was dealt with, I don't think that they would be here right now. Like I am speaking to you. It takes someone like me to be who I am, to make myself to who I am now. I don't think a lot of people in my situation would have thrived. And the people that I've done consultation sessions with, where we get a little bit more deeper and I tell them a little bit more about my personal life, because we've developed a kind of rapport and reputation to one another, they're fairly surprised with what happened in my past. They're fairly surprised that I am where I am today. And I am too. Like, like I am too to some degree. But I knew deep down, I always knew that I am the underdog. But I'm the lion that is the underdog. And it's not going to be over. My life is not over until I do what I'm here to do, sent by the Creator. And that's been my mindset. Even though when I didn't believe in God, I still knew there was something bigger for me. I remember watching Harry Potter, and I know we can all relate to Harry and Hermione and Ron, you know, like there's a reason those movies and books are so popular. It's because it's relatable to some degree, right? Like Harry Potter is a story about the kids that they play by the rules, but they kind of bend the rules when they need to, but they do it. They bend the rules to do the right thing, right? And that's kind of how I lived my life. Like I bend the rules quite a bit here and there, but it was always for something greater than myself. Like I didn't do it for the sake of just wanting to have a good time or whatever. Like I did it because I knew that the rules were fucked up, and I knew that the rules were stupid, and I knew that there was no true harm in what I was doing, even though I did bend the rules. And so I remember watching Harry Potter at one point when I was about, I would say maybe 15 or 16 was when I had this like epiphany. Was I felt like Harry Potter. Like I felt like an orphan in my own family. I felt like I had a spiritual scar where I just couldn't get away from it no matter what I did. I felt as though I had this weird ability to see people, and I had this weird ability to see people and things for who they really are, and have the courage to do what I needed to do, despite everybody thinking that I was wrong. Like there was times between the ages of 15 to 22 where I knew things weren't right, but it was at like age 22 where I guess 22 to 23 was when I really started to feel as though I was being betrayed left and right by all of my people that I thought was in my corner. It was, and I'm 26 now, almost 27 here in a couple months, but it was like the weight of the world was truly on my shoulders. And I felt like I was the hero, but I was also like this anti-hero where I knew what I was doing was right, but everybody around me treated me like the Antichrist. And I was like, I really don't think I'm being unreasonable. I really don't think I'm being unjust. I do genuinely believe I'm doing the right thing here. And not just the right thing for me, the right thing for the situation. And it was like everything came smashing down, man. Everything came smashing down, and I just felt betrayed over here and there. And it was like, you just look around at some point and you're just like, damn, man. Like, who can I fucking trust? Who can I fucking trust anymore? And I tell people to this day, the best person that you can trust is yourself. What else are you going to do? Who else are you going to really trust the most? Apart from God. Yourself. You're going to trust yourself. So don't limit your abilities to be great for the sake of not making someone else feel less than. It's a bunch of bullshit. Shoot for the fucking stars. And don't stop. Just start. Peace be with you. Till next time.